What's up, guys? We're gonna roll beats. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to make a UK drill type beat. If you guys haven't subbed already, make sure to sub button because it does help me a lot. Let's hop right into this. My BPM is around 140, 141, anywhere around there is pretty good. So I'm gonna drag in a scale and we can just work with my default F sharp minor. Just work whatever you want. All right, so let me name this. Okay, so here are my plugins. I got this dark score from Keyscape. Any piano, you throw some reverb and delay on it, it should give you this type of sound. And then I got this, just like a chant, for like a chant or something. Just go in here, and we're gonna work on a melody first, and then we're gonna do something simple. It doesn't need to be like a super crazy melody, all right? So you want to keep these melodies dark, and how you do that is you see these notes that are right next to each other, here, here. You want to pretty much only use those, because when you go off of it, it starts to make it melodic, and we don't really want that necessarily. So we start here, and then all right, now we got us a dark little chord, and we can just pull this up like that, and there we have our chords. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is add some extra notes above, and this is really easy because all you have to look at is these notes that are right next to each other. So we can put one up here. All right, so let's move on to our little choir or chants, whatever. And we can really just kind of mimic that rhythm. Make them a little bit shorter. And I might add another note here too, because I don't want this to be too repetitive. So okay, so that's the melody. So now we're gonna move on to the best part, the 808 slides and everything. Okay, so now we're onto the 808 slides and the kick. So these go hand in hand. You wanna pretty much make these together. First thing you need to do with your 808 though is set it up. So you click here, you click this little tab, go down the envelope, click it on, move the attack all the way to the left and the release all the way to the left. And then it'll stop and go whenever you press it and release it. So let's go in here. And the first step, before you get to the 808 slides and all that crazy stuff, is just create a simple pattern, right? Something that you just like, that's decent. I'm gonna keep mine fairly simple just so, you know, everything is simplified and understandable. So let's copy this over. And I'm gonna add one more here. All right, so the next step would just be to cut your 808 on where you want your chops. So I would want my chops like more at the end. So I would do a chop here, one here, one here, and one here. So now the key to making them sound good is you wanna kind of pull these back a little bit so it kind of pauses. Right, you want that kind of stop and go effect. So now the easy part, you want to go up here and click this button. This is the slide note. And what I like to do is just put one down, highlight it, drag it down, press Control up. And you can go up twice actually if you want to. And then we could just kind of shrink it down. And then for the next one, you can press Control down, do one there. And then if I'm doing a slide that's going into the next note, I just do the note right above it. So I would drag this over and kind of just blend those together like that. All right, you can put yours here if you want. but I think it'll just sound better if you just put one here. Just listen to this part. Let me kind of zoom out for you. All right, just a simple 808 slide. And then we can copy these over. And maybe just add some. All right, so now let's move on with the kick. And then you just want to play the kick off of this 808. So you're going to want to put some kicks here. And I have 2 kicks. I just like the way 2 kicks sound together. Like, so if I was doing like a kick, like something like this, right? And I was trying to match, or better yet, if I was trying to match this kick with this 808, this would sound fine, but it just wouldn't hit the same as if another kick kind of came in with like a different type of sound. And I'll show you what I mean. But for now, let's just kind of get a simple pattern going with this one. And then with this style, a lot of the kick in the 808 kind of hits where the snare would. Right. So I'm gonna kind of mimic that, and we can just finish this off, pull the velocities up, and then let's bring this kick in, and then I'm gonna show you what I mean. We do something like this, and then at the end too. See how it kind of gives a different type of frequency there, and it just, I don't know, I think it just sounds better to me than just having them all on the same kick. All right, so that's the kick in the 808. That's pretty much how you just kind of do those and mix those together. So now we're gonna move on to these drums. Okay, so now we're on to the actual drums, and I know it looks like a lot, but all we're doing is just layering, just so everything just hits a little bit harder than it would with just one sound. So we can just pull this. Let me see, where would this go? Right here. Pull the velocity up, and we can just copy this. And we could pretty much do this for all of them. And then on one of these, we can kind of offset, and it's kind of like a common pattern. Okay, so now this is the hi-hat. Now with the hi-hats, this is like a common pattern. All right, so usually you would start like this, right? Well, with this drill, with this UK drill, you would put one here and here. And then the easiest way to continue that is just go on the piano roll, copy it like this. And you can also mess with the velocity, of course, but for this video, just keep it simple. And if you want to, you can add a hi-hat roll like somewhere here. Like this will be fine. Make sure it's a regular note though. Alt U to chop it. I like to pull the velocity down a little bit just so it doesn't overtake the main hi-hat pattern. All right, and then you can take some out as well. And I kind of like the way it stops, so I'm gonna keep that. All right, so now with our snare roll, this right here, just want to listen to it, but it's usually somewhere around here, like right before the clap hits. So we kind of just add ours here. And let's change this. And then we could just mess with the velocity just a little bit. All right, and then we can add this crashing gunshot. I just add these just because I heard them and like some of the beats. So okay, so now we're gonna move on to the next melody. This melody was just a basic melody that you can start with, but now I'm gonna show you like a different type of melody that you can make with it. All right, so now what we're gonna do is add our second melody, or just make a whole new melody pretty much. All right, so this melody was pretty basic. All right, just some basic chords here and just a few notes. All right, so what we're gonna do is put a little bit more effort into it. So what we're gonna do is go up here, go to this arrow, go to clone, and it's gonna make another clone for us so we don't lose our first one. I'm gonna go ahead and mute these. Let's delete our melody. So now let's go on our piano roll. And what you wanna do is, again, you can just use these notes that are right next to each other. It's D and D sharp, it's A and G sharp. So we can start, maybe go down like this. All right, so you get a basic melody going, right? All right, not too hard, right? Now you want to get a bass line going. So you want to start on your root note. So F sharp. And then go to these two notes right here. These notes are right next to each other, okay? Trying to keep things simple. All right, now you can see we're building it up. So next thing you want to do is highlight this. All right, hold shift, click and drag, control down. And then where you want to put these is like in between, right? So in between, and that's going to give you kind of the sweet spot. And I would usually just delete the middle one, and you can copy this over. Then we just copy this whole thing over so it repeats. All right, and then the good thing about these methods is you don't even have to think. You can just know kind of the placements, right? And you can say, okay, this one doesn't have a note in between already. So we can put this F sharp that we just copied from our bass line, control up, and we can put it right there. And we can kind of drag these back. Now with these notes, since they're overlapping, what I would just do is pull these all the way back to this one, and then maybe just delete one of them. Now I'm usually keep the one in the middle because it'll bridge these two parts, these two halves together. All right, now you don't need these, but I just, you know, they're just my method that I do. All right, so here's what it would sound like. All right, and the last thing we can do is maybe add like some crazy little, like, I don't know what to call it, but like maybe one of these little quick little melodies up top. So again, this is easy. You already have the notes you need. See these notes right here? Boom. Drag it over and let's see how that sounds. Now let's play it with the bass and kick. Some halftime or something like that. Let me probably do something like this. You can see all we did was use one VST with this one. All right, but the melody sounds a lot better. Then we add some halftime to make it sound really, really dark. All right, so I'm gonna just play it one more time. I'll probably boost a little of these frequencies too. All right, and that's how you make a UK drill type beat. Hopefully this video was helpful. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.